At the dawn of the Chinese Republic, an intellectual teacher and his students come to a small village to study the rare flowers growing in its vicinity. But on the spot they discover that the village is haunted by the ghost of a recently deceased girl named Xiaoman. She committed suicide holding a doll, and after her inconsolable father ordered a special ritual to return her soul, began to take revenge on the villagers with the help of the same doll. Trying to make sense of the story leads to the guests beginning to die one by one. There is a saying that sounds, if you can't beat it, lead it, and this is the situation in which modern Hong Kong cinema finds itself. For almost 10 years after its handover to China in 1997, the Hong Kong film industry tried to swim out on its own, even without trying to make its way into the mainland censorship-protected box office, but since then it has given up and started playing by Big Brother's rules. On the one hand, making blockbusters to be shown in theaters, and on the other, working on smaller films for online platforms. The Puppet looks exactly like any Chinese internet horror, and the fact that the movie was handled by people from Hong Kong is only indicated by the heavy presence of veterans from the city in the cast, including such legends as Billy Lau, Yuan Chengyan, John Ching, and Weiss Li. Also, you can take a look at the crew list and see that the producers, director, cinematographer, and costume and lighting designers have previously worked on other Hong Kong online films for the mainland market, Infernal Storm, Golden Escape, and Queen's Return, for example. But in this case, the quantity did not turn into quality. If the internet action movies made by Hong Kong masters are not bad, but the folklore horror detective, unfortunately, turned out to be flawed. First of all, The Puppet runs for an hour and a half, which is obviously a lot for a small, almost private story, and as a result we have an hour of a drawn-out exposition and half an hour of a drawn-out climax, which would have worked much better if the authors had not been ashamed to trim the lengths and slightly loosen the grip with the drama. Because attempts to make the audience feel for the characters, who have neither originality nor depth, are doomed to failure. The actors don't really help to breathe life into the characters either. Yes, there are a lot of Hong Kong stars in this movie, but Terence Ian and Carmen Soup, who were chosen to play the leading roles, are either lazy, or were unable to get into the story and to express this interest through their characters. It's a shame, because purely visually there are a number of good moments in The Puppet, and some horror scenes are quite well done. In all likelihood, it was this purely visual attraction that ensured a fairly high interest in the movie in Chinese online cinemas. In general, there are not many questions to the technical part of the movie, unlike its dramaturgy.